The hedgehog who wanted a hug in a quiet little meadow surrounded by tall trees and colorful flowers lived a small hedgehog named Henry. Henry was a happy little creature with shiny brown quills and a tiny pink nose that twitched whenever he got excited. But despite his cheerful nature, Henry had one big wish: he wanted a hug. Henry loved to watch the other animals in the meadow. The rabbits snuggled together in their burrows, the deer nuzzled their fawns, and even the birds chirped happily while fluffing each other's feathers. Everywhere Henry looked, animals were giving and receiving warm, loving hugs. "I wish I could get a hug," Henry sighed one morning as he watched a family of squirrels cuddling in a tree. "But everyone is afraid of my quills." Determined to find someone who would hug him, Henry set off on a journey across the meadow. First, he met Oliver the owl, who was perched on a low branch. "Oliver, will you give me a hug?" Henry asked hopefully. Oliver fluffed his feathers and shook his head. "I'm sorry, Henry, but your quills are too sharp. I might get poked." Henry sighed and continued on his way until he found Bella the bunny hopping through the grass. "Bella, will you give me a hug?" he asked. Bella's big ears twitched nervously. "Oh, Henry, I'd love to. But your quills might poke my soft fur. I'm sorry." Henry felt a little sad, but he didn't give up. He walked on until he met Timmy the turtle by the pond. "Timmy, will you hug me?" Timmy peeked up from his shell and smiled. "I wish I could, Henry, but my shell is too hard." It wouldn't be a very nice hug. Henry's little heart felt heavier with each answer. Was there no one who could hug a hedgehog? Just as he was about to give up, he heard a gentle voice. "Henry, are you okay?" Henry turned around to see his friend, Daisy the duck. "I just want a hug," Henry admitted sadly, "but everyone is afraid of my quills." Daisy tilted her head and thought for a moment. Then she fluffed her soft wings and said, "I know what we can do." She gently wrapped her wings around Henry, careful to avoid his quills, and gave him the warmest, softest hug he had ever received. Henry's tiny pink nose wiggled with joy. "Thank you, Daisy," he said, his heart feeling warm and full. From that day on, Henry learned that hugs come in many different forms. Sometimes they are not just about touch, but about kindness, love, and understanding. And in Daisy, Henry had found a friend who would always find a way to show she cared. And so, Henry the Hedgehog was never without a hug again. The story ends.